In this video, what we're going to be talking about is why do most traders fail, what are their common traits, and what solutions can we use to make sure that doesn't happen to us. Let's get started. All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How's everyone doing? Okay. So where is everyone from? Where are you guys all logging in from? Bangkok, New Zealand, Maldives, Dubai, Croatia, Iran, India, Malaysia, Switzerland. Oh, Switzerland. I'm also in Switzerland. So those of you guys who are in Switzerland and you guys want to catch up, would be happy to. Shall I show you guys around here? Okay, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous, Switzerland. I've never been. It's my first time, and it's just next level. This place. So let me show you around in this place. Okay, you guys can see my background. Okay, the world, the outer space is gone. Yeah. Okay, let me show you here. Take a look. Okay, here we go. I'll take you outside here. All right, here we go. Look at this place. Is that nuts or what? Like, I've seen it in calendars and stuff, but I've never seen it in real life. And it's actually how it looks on calendars. Like it's nuts. You know, I've traveled the world, but this is a whole next level. I've never seen stuff like this. Okay, Canada was very similar to this as well. So, you know, for those of you guys, again, those of you guys who are in Switzerland, yeah, you know, reach out if you guys are, you know, you can follow me on Instagram, and if you see me in your town or in your area, you know, definitely reach out, and love to catch up. I'll be going from one hotel to the next, top of mountains, below mountains, all kinds of places. So just traveling through Switzerland. And if you guys are in town, definitely reach out to us and we'll catch up. Okay. So let's get started. Okay. Now, so those of you guys how many of you guys were here in the podcast that we did just before this webinar? Okay, how many of you guys were here in the entire podcast? Cool. So you guys watched it live. Fantastic. So now what we're gonna do here is, okay. What I've done is I've turned off the chat and make sure your chat only comes to me and not to everybody else, so we can focus and just you know, talk to each other, basically, if you want to put it that way. Your messages will only be seen by me and my team and nobody else. So because I'm going to talk and ask you guys certain questions that I want you to be honest and answer. Okay, because would you guys agree many people fail in this industry? Let me ask you the next difficult question now. Would you agree that if not taken care of, you can also fail in this industry? Right? Okay, this is the reason why I wanted to turn off the chat and make it only private, so that way I want you to answer these questions with this notion of self-reflection, okay? Because by answering these questions, as you've heard when I in the podcast, when I asked Armo, Lucas, and Ian, you saw how transparent they were talking about their journey, right? Many people have a tough time being transparent, and what happens is that guilt or weight just holds inside of them that stops them from being good traders. By letting it all out and saying, I'm not doing so well, then the hope comes back of, I need help. And then the search continues of, where am I going to get help? Who is going to help me? What do I need to learn? All that opens up with no baggage, no emotional baggage. Would you guys agree? So I want you to find, you know, whether it's Urban Forex or anybody else, I want you to find somewhere where you can come find trust in and saying, all right, listen, guys, I want to be straight up with you guys. I need help with this. What should I do? Where should I begin? How do I lift off from here? Okay. And that will truly give you your initial first breakthrough, is how do I make sure I'm on the right track?
And since this is my dirty laundry that I'm hanging up in public by telling you guys all my problems, because we don't like to talk about problems. As human beings, we tend to hide what our problems are when it comes to the public, right? We don't like to talk about it. Would you guys agree? Many of us go to an extent where we don't even tell our family members our problems because it's embarrassing, or we look weak, or we look like we haven't done what we're supposed to do. As children, where parents are very strict, then we feel we have failed them, or we're not good enough. You guys agree? The problem with trading is all of that language, it will hold you back. It will hold you back. You need to start by trusting yourself and saying, and that's okay if I fail. How else am I going to learn? You need to train yourself to get into that language. That's okay if I failed. That's why I'm learning. I don't care if it's been a year, I'm failing, I'm learning, I'm moving forward. You cannot, hold yourself down and keep saying, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. If people ask you, how's your trading going? Oh, yeah, I'm good. You got to be honest. You got to be honest. You got to be honest so you can move forward. Okay? So you can move forward. You guys agree? Okay? Because the sooner you do that, the sooner you begin your journey. Otherwise, you won't be able to cross that first step. Okay? You won't be able to cross that first step. So by letting go of I know and going into a notion of I don't know, you open up the possibility of learning. Okay? Learning only comes from the idea of I don't know. That's how learning comes. Okay? So now that we're at that stage, we let that out of our chest. All of you guys have typed it in, or you guys have thought it in your mind, or you verbally said it while sitting behind your computer here. And as we go through this discussion in this webinar, let's take it a step further. So why is it that most traders fail? What are the common traits? And now that we've removed the psychological baggage, how do we move forward into charts and find out what is it that's holding me back from becoming the best of the best of the best? Okay. All right. Okay. So what we're going to talk about now is once you remove that emotional baggage, which is going to be hard, maybe just by typing it out right now, it won't do it. Sometimes you just have to ease into it. As people ask you, you slowly start to admit it. Once you admit it, you move forward, and soon you'll start to realize the people you were trying to hide it from don't really matter anyways. Like, except maybe family members or something like that. But the people you're trying to impress generally by saying, no, you're doing well, they generally are not someone you would impress anyways, because you probably see them as a different type of people. Like, they don't have hopes, they don't have big dreams as you do. So the fact that you are hiding it from them, you feel they're going to judge you, and you're trying to protect yourself from that. It is a natural state of mind to do that. You guys believe that? Right? It is only natural for you to protect yourself and be like, I don't want to feel bad. Okay, so let's not feel bad and let's work on it. Let's fix it. Okay, so that's the psychological part. And I want you guys to take that journey on your own and be like, all right, what is my approach going to be to make sure I can fix this issue? Okay, I see many of you guys are typing about this and really explaining that this is a issue with you guys and stuff like that. And it was an issue for me for a very, very long time. Okay, being Indian, having strict parents at the same time, there's a lot of this sense of proving that who I am, which is not a bad thing. It lights a fire in you, at least, to make sure you can do what you're supposed to do. But there's many people who don't understand what you do. That makes it very confusing. And what do most people do to things that they don't understand? What do people generally do to things they don't understand? If you are sitting right now in a nice park, okay, and suddenly a cockroach shows up right next to you, two things are going to happen. if you don't know it's just a cockroach, it's no big deal, you will either run away from it or you will try to attack it. You will try to attack it. These are the two things. Okay, these are the two things that's going to happen. You won't say, interesting. I wonder what this cockroach is doing here. No one does that. No one does that. Most people generally run away or they attack it. So when you bring up this topic to many people that don't understand your journey, whether it's trading or whatever it may be, that's what you're going to experience, right? Right? So we're on the same page of that. Once we bring understanding of why it's happening, maybe they're just well-wishers. They don't want you to do bad. But many times they're not well-wishers. They just are judging. That's all it is. Most of the time, that's the case. Right? Okay. So now, let's take it a bit further. Let's put yourself in 3 months into trading. 3 months into trading. You're doing some stuff. Okay, I'm gonna just put a squiggly line of this is what you've been learning. Okay, this is what you've been learning. Your results are positive and negative. Then you switched over to do something else. Your results started off very positive, and then it became very negative. Okay. But because it was very positive at one point, you decided to stick to it because you liked the way it made you feel. Has nothing to do, does it work, does it not work, et cetera, et cetera. You just simply like the way it made you feel. So you stick around with that a little bit longer because it made you the most money. This is common with supply and demand traders. Would you guys agree? How many of you guys here know supply and demand? Okay. This is very common with them because very quickly, when prices reach a level of demand or something else, prices reject from it. And immediately you start seeing profits and you start getting addicted to that feeling of, oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. Okay. Some of you guys probably don't know what supply and demand is, but the whole point is let's say it's some technique that makes you good money, big amounts of money, but then later it also takes away a big amount of money from you. But because you felt so excited, you stick with it a bit longer. Finally, after losing more money than making money, you move on to the next thing. The next thing, you simply have little losses all the time. Little losses all the time. And you're like, I don't like that either. And now you're at the stage of, I'm not sure what to do. Okay, you're at the stage of, I'm not sure what to do. Am I even going to become a trader? While somebody shows up and says, hey man, how's trading? And your response only has to be out of embarrassment. I'm getting there. It takes time. I'm doing good. It takes time. I'm doing good. Right? How many guys here agree with that? Okay. So this is a normal process. Because I want this to be private, I wish I can turn on the chat again and show you how many people agree with this to show you you're not alone in this. Everyone is going through this. Everybody. Okay, so I want you to trust me when I say that. Everyone's going through this. It's not just you. It's not just you. Okay, so once we go further into this, let's take it further. 6 months have gone down the line. You have now reached one system that you like, that seems to make sense to you, and you have mixed results, positive, negative, positive, negative. Now, same situation, the psychological pressure. Hey man, how's trading going? And now, because more time has passed, you cannot say, it's going good, it takes time. You're saying, yes, it's good. Because so much time has passed, it's only right to say, yes, it's going good. Right? It's too embarrassing to say, no, I'm still learning. It must be good. Okay? And this pressure causes you to never get out of this loop. It causes you to never get out of this loop. Starting today, we need to change that. Okay? We need to change that. Right? Can we make that little shift today, mind shift right now, and saying, all right, enough of this nonsense. A lot of this headache is coming from this process, not the trading itself. Okay, we need to drop this nonsense. If that he, she, they ask next time, just be like, I'm working on it. It takes time. It takes time. You know, I'm working on it. That's it. That's it. No baggage, no nothing. And you really need to let go of what they think. Okay, because it really doesn't matter. Okay, so let's take it further now into real life scenarios. Okay, real life scenarios. Now, let's do this. So you go to YouTube. Okay, let's put you in the real position you're in. Okay, you go to YouTube. On YouTube, you see this brown guy named Navin. Oh, that's me. You see this brown guy talking about stuff, and you're like, you know what? That makes sense. He goes straight into why trading is done rather than, you know what you should do? When you see the support resistance, this is what you need to do. Always sell, always buy. No. This guy seems to challenge the thought process that you're going through, and he asks you the question, why? Why do you do that? Do you understand it? And that gives you this understanding of, hey, I know what I need to do. I need to understand this. I have to understand this. So you go further down the rabbit hole. Okay, you go further down the rabbit hole, searching for that why, and you're learning every step of the way. In the learning process, this continues. Positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, to a point where it's like positive, negative, negative, positive, negative, negative. You start feeling like, what am I missing? What am I doing wrong? My money management is wrong. Every time I am positive, I risk more money, and then I become negative, and then it just feels horrible. You go further down the line. You're like, all right. But in this whole process, what has happened is you haven't changed. Okay, you haven't changed system. You haven't hopped. You know, as Ian was saying, you know, the hashtag hopper. Okay, maybe we should use this hashtag. You know, the Forex hopper. So once you drop the hashtag hopping, okay, then you sit there and you build. You build upon what you know and how you can get better. Okay, because it's more fun that way. It's more fun that way. You have something to look forward to. You're not just messing around looking for some golden key that's just going to make you rich overnight. That's so boring anyways. You know, I don't want people to just come up to me and be like, hey, here's $10 million cash. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, what? I buy 4 Prada shoes instead of 1? Like, what? I don't even like Prada shoes. It just feels weird. Like, I don't know what to do with it. Let me earn it. Let me earn it. The joy in earning something is next level. It is next level. Okay. All right. So going further, now this happens. You get positive, positive, negative, positive, positive, negative, negative. Okay. Your performance is starting to stabilize a bit. Okay. Let's take it 3 more months down the line. You now are doing the same thing, but now is negative, negative, positive, negative, 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 positive. But now you learn one thing and you're like, wait a minute, the market condition has shifted a little bit. It's no longer trending. The market's in a range now. So that's why I'm unable to catch the right moves, because it's not in that same condition. You learn something here. You learn something here, because now you're looking at this as a whole and you're like, why is my performance worse than last time? When you look at it as a whole, you're like, got it. Okay. You learn something, you build upon it. You build upon it. Every step like this makes you better and better and better. But you know what's the one thing that has changed? If the system is exactly the same, the only one thing that has changed is realization. Okay? Is your realization. You are more in tune with yourself in noticing, I notice I get more losses when after a winning trade, I increase my lot size. I shouldn't have done that. I don't know why I did that. I shouldn't have done that. That self-talk helps you. I realize I make losing trades when I take the same trade that I believe in, but I take it 10 times. I should do it once. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I should just leave it alone. Okay, more realization, more realization. While you're doing this, you're also discovering who you are as a person. Are you aggressive? Are you conservative? Do you need to trade a different way? Do you like ranges or do you like trends? You start realizing so much stuff about yourself that you didn't know were ever there. You might be the most conservative person in real life, but you might be the most aggressive trader when it comes to the charts. You might be the opposite. You might be very aggressive in nature in your personal life, but when it comes to the markets, you're very conservative. Okay, you're very conservative and you notice like, well, that's weird. I'd figured I'd be more aggressive, but I'm actually very conservative. You'll realize things you've never noticed before. Okay, and that itself is growth. That itself is growth. In this whole journey, this is called building a trader. Okay, this is called building a trader. Now, I want to ask all of you guys one question. In building a trader, can this be taught in a system or a strategy? This is the system or strategy. How you approach the system or strategy cannot be taught. It needs to be firsthand experience. Very good. I see Joseph writing that. It needs to be firsthand experience. You have to go through the process, jump the hoops, fall down, get up, try again. You're going to have to go through that. But every time you fall, you can either look for the answer or you can ask for the answer. That is your support group that's going to help you with, okay, well, how do I deal with this? Okay, only then you can move forward little by little, little by little, little by little, little by little. So far, so good? Are you guys all with me? Okay, so the most important piece in all of this is to look back. Look back and see, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? But now let's ask a more basic question. Navin, I look back, but how do I know when I look back if even a winning trade is actually wrong? What if a losing trade was right? What if a winning trade I did was actually wrong? How do I know when I'm looking back if I'm looking back correctly or not? You see, sometimes you're so new in the industry that you don't even know that you're spending the time to do post analysis, but you're like, when I'm doing my post analysis, but how do I know if I did it right or wrong? How do I know? Because I'm not following a set of rules. So how do I know what I did was right or wrong? Is it just profit and loss? No. So there needs to be some level of understanding. Okay, so ready? I'm going to give you guys a plan on how to do your post analysis. Okay, and I'm going to teach you guys on how to measure yourself, because that is the only way you're going to become a profitable trader. That is the only way. You cannot switch systems. You cannot, find the next guru and the next guru says $200,000. You're like, if I just pay him, I'll become successful. Even that's not going to work. I can promise you that's not going to work. You'll just be down 200,000, So the answer lies in how to do post analysis. Okay. Techniques is something that you like, that a professional can teach you. But once you get the technique, how do you build upon it? Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. How do you measure yourself? Okay, first way to measure yourself is a little bit of education. And I'm going to give you that education so you guys know what to actually look for. Okay, so it's a different webinar than the traditional webinars that we do. It's more, I'm trying to talk to you personally kind of thing. I hope it's okay. It's not one of those, all right, let's look at charts and let's do this, let's do that. I hope that's all right. I really wanted to talk about something that people like to ignore, but you can't ignore it. Like, you're going to end up at this stage one way or the other. Like, you can't bypass this process. It's just never going to happen. if you want to become a trader. So you're going to have to go through this. Okay. So post-analysis, let's talk about it. How do you do post-analysis? Okay. So first, we need to identify, are you a trader or investor? I think that's where everything goes out of control. Okay. I'm just going to abbreviate it. So I'm not wasting time writing it. Okay. So are you a trader or investor? So now we all like to say, oh, we're a trader because that's what we joined for, you know, and many of you guys are in the iconic trader program. So therefore I must be a trader, right? Right? Because my course says trader, so therefore I must be a trader. But what is a trader and what is an investor? Okay, so these are the key differences. So what does an investor do? So what an investor does is, let's say there is a small restaurant. Okay, let's say there's a small restaurant. I'm going to give it a nice little smoke. Okay, there we go. Cool little restaurant. Okay, and there's a nice little restaurant, and you as an investor are saying, all right, I think this restaurant's going to make a lot of money, but right now the restaurant's not doing so good, but I know it has a lot of potential. So the restaurant costs right now cents. So you will buy it at a low price. And later, when the restaurant is booming, you are very profitable. So far, so good. So is the investor involved in accuracy of price? He simply says, I like the deal. It seems fairly discounted. I'll buy it. Now, let me translate that onto a chart. Restaurant industry going up. This restaurant not doing so well. And the prices for this restaurant is below average. What the price is, the guy does not care. He buys it. Prices can go down further. And then later when it goes up, he's like, yay, making money. Good job. Good deal. That's what an investor does. He's not price sensitive as much as a trader. So far, so good. A trader, if he knows restaurant industry is good, I'd like to buy it, give me a pullback. And if he buys it here and he puts a stop loss here, even though it went up, he died in the process. He lost money. Now, do you understand the key differences between an investor and a trader? A trader is simply price sensitive. Okay, where he gets in, where he gets out, not price, but time sensitive. Time to price, okay, let's put it that way. So far, so good. So you need to identify who you are, a trader or an investor. Okay, so once this process is identified, so like, no, I'm a trader. I know I must buy, but when I buy, I make a loss. Then I buy, I make a loss. Then when I buy, I make break even. And then I buy, I make a little bit of profit. And then you see your account statement, you're like negative, 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 break even, positive. When you hear all those negative, break even, and positive, is it overall positive or negative? So negative, 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 break even, positive, little bit. So it's overall negative, right? When a person looks at his account statement, he will always say, I'm in a losing system. I look at that as the person is not well defined yet, because he kept trying to buy it because he knew it was a buy. His results are not so good. He's on the right track. He needs timing. He needs tuning. Does that make sense? He's a developing trader. He knows what to do. He just doesn't know how to time it well. So far, so good. So even though the results are negative, it does not mean he's on a failing system. Does that make sense? Okay, so once you look at this, you want to see in this moment of pullback to resolution. Resolution means it finally happened the way you were thinking. You need to judge yourself net profit on that move itself. If that was your goal to do up, you need to judge yourself on what did I do in the valley when prices come down for a discount before they launch. What did you do? How did you do it? And you need to look at that as one trade and judge yourself. Am I net positive or net negative? That's how you do post-analysis and saying, how did I understand this rollover and launch? Okay, that's how you do post-analysis. It's not about, oh, because my support resistance line was wrong, oh, because my supply and demand line was wrong, oh, because Fibonacci said 50% and I got in at 48%, like the stars were not aligned. No. You wanted buys worked. You tried 4 times or 5 times, but you were net negative. You had the right concept. You haven't tuned it right. So then when you do that, you're able to look back in your post-analysis and be like, why the hell was I so early? How could I have known not to be early? How can I wait longer? What are the telltale signs to know I need to wait longer? I spent 30 hours trying to figure this out. I don't get it. Shall I email info@urbanforex.com and ask the guys like, hey man, I'm really struggling with this. I don't get it. I tried everything. I tried to use this lesson, that lesson from this course and that course. What the hell is it? Where am I going wrong? Then what you're doing is progress. It is not, oh man, my P&L is negative. Oh, this doesn't work. Let me hop. #hop. Hopper. You see the key difference? You see why it takes time to become a trader? The knowledge is there, but this is where the timing takes. This is where the time comes in of you got to get that experience in to do it just right. Okay, so shall we draw it again? I'm going to change the direction to a downtrend to give you that example in a different way. Okay, now let's say you're dealing with a downtrend. Okay, and you as a trader, you know, based on your knowledge and education that you've got either at Urban Forex or wherever, you know, restaurant industry is going down. Okay, restaurant industry is going down. And what you want to do is you want to short that industry to make some money. Okay, by shorting the restaurant industry, you're basically saying, I think restaurants are going to get worse. So you're shorting it. You make money if the chart goes down. Okay, let's just make it simple as that. Okay, so as prices are coming up, because you want a good deal, as prices are coming up, you see an SNR and you're like, okay, this looks good. I'm going to sell. Stop loss. This looks good. I'm going to sell. Stop loss. This looks good. I'm going to sell. Whoa, nice. Close. I am slightly net positive. Okay, so now I want to ask you guys one question now. Did your idea work? Not P&L, not P&L. Did your idea work? Yes. Now you compare not this P&L and to that P&L to that P&L. You compare this whole motion and saying, how did I do net in all 3 collective? Okay, that's how you judge this trade, because that's what you were going for. You were going for, give me a discount and then get out of here. That's one setup. Yeah, you took 3 executions or 10 executions. That's your thing. That's different. But that is one setup. How did you do? Okay. And then you look back and be like, last time I did it like this, it worked well. I was net positive. This time I didn't do it so well. It took me 5 trades and I was slightly net positive. Let me see if I can reduce that number and saying, oh, I hit it twice. I'm very net positive. Or I hit it 3 times. I'm break even. So how am I better than the investor who's making 0.2 R? Did I even make 0.2 R as a trader who is more price sensitive? Okay, so that's how you judge yourself. That's how you compare yourself to, did it work, did it not work? Now, let me ask you this thing. Let's say price does this. Goes up, you sell, prices do this. Stop loss, you sell, prices do this, stop loss. You sell, prices do that. Did your trade work? Did your setup work? This is read. Your read is wrong. The analysis itself is wrong. It has nothing to do with your trade management. If your read was wrong, you wouldn't have attempted to sell so many times because you don't know if it's going to sell, but you're trying it. Then you know what to focus on. You're focusing on is, why did I not have the direction right? What did I miss? Okay, so does it matter if this one here put a stop loss here and we're like, man, my stop loss was too tight, otherwise I could have made money? No, the setup is wrong. Does that make sense? So all of those negatives, the negatives doesn't matter. The read was wrong. That's what you take away from it and saying, okay, I got to fix that. I got to fix that. I don't got to fix my entries. I don't got to fix my stop losses. It's not a stop loss issue. It's not, oh, but I was in profit a little bit. I did see some signs of exiting, but I didn't exit on time. And then it came against me and I lost money. That is a common language traders use, but they don't realize, but the trade never went regardless. How is that a win? If you made money and the trade still didn't go in your direction and you're net positive, it's still not a win. It's still wrong. That's how you can judge a winning trade being wrong or a losing trade still right. Does that make sense? Aha moments today? Now you guys see what needs to be worked on, how you can actually buckle down and be like, all right, I got this. I got this. I can do this, right? Post-analysis is everything. If you spend your time on YouTube, nobody talks post-analysis. Everyone spends time on the next opportunity, the next opportunity, the next opportunity. And half the people are like, I'm in this trade, I'm losing money. So what can you tell me about this trade? No. That's not the way to do it. Okay, so let me do another example. Okay, before we end this, let me do it this way. Okay, I'm gonna switch it to black. Ready? Okay, prices are going sideways. You have no idea if it's going to go up or down. You're not getting a clear read. You're thinking maybe it's going to go down. Maybe it's going to go down. Ready? Prices do this and you sell it. And when you sell it, you exit. You're net positive. Is that a win? No, that's not a win. When you start with this, it's wrong. You need to know what you're trying to do. You need to have a plan ahead of time. Like, remember that restaurant I showed you guys earlier where the guy went to buy it? Do you think that restaurant guy says, this restaurant is so cheap, I'll just buy it? Or do you think he says, sorry, can I see your books, please? Let me see the accounting. Let me see your profit loss. Let me see how many staff you have. Did you have any problems? Are there mouse in the damn restaurant, or are there rats anywhere? Or do you think he just says, oh, it's so cheap, I'll just buy it? Maybe will kill you. You have to be careful. You must know by looking at it and saying, I know that's going to do well. Let us prepare. Let us prepare the negotiation, because we're traders. We enter the negotiation. An investor, he doesn't care. It's a good deal. He just buys it. As traders, we want the absolute perfection of the negotiation. Does that make sense? We want the turn of the negotiation to be just right. And that's how we make the money. And that's how we make the most amount of money from it. So far, so good. Shall we go back to the trend examples? I just wanted to bring this up really quickly just to be like, if you have a maybe, don't count it as you know what you're doing. Count it as, all right, I got lucky on that one, but I need to be careful not to do it next time. I shouldn't do that because I cannot build upon that. I cannot build my future on that. If I cannot build my future on that, how will I increase my lot size? So that's not going to work. I need something I can trust and saying the risk is worth it. Okay. So now prices are going up, okay, which is trend. Okay, I'm not going to say restaurant anymore. The trend is going up. You're looking at, let's say, Euro USD. Okay, Euro USD trend's going up. Prices start to come down. You have a level here, support resistance level here. You got a supply and demand level here. And you have Fibonacci's 50% here, okay, in that area. And you have the markets are coming down full speed on the discount. You also have momentum coming in. You know you want to buy, okay? Your whole objective is, yes, I want to buy. There's no doubt in my mind I want to buy because I saw everything that I needed to see. But as it's pulling back, you're watching it, you're like, it's coming in too hot, but he's at the area. I'm just going to buy it. Stop loss. Okay, is that Fibonacci 50%? I'm going to buy it. Stop loss. Okay, I'm going to buy it. Okay, it's working. It's working. It's working. It's very slow. I'm just going to hold on. Stop loss. And this one, did the trade work? This one gets a yes. It's not a no. I know he didn't make a higher high, but this one is a yes because there was a buy attempt there, a full-blown buy attempt that actually went up. But even though you are net negative on this, you are in the right trade. FOMO entry, lucky entry, and no idea of how to exit. Even though the trade is negative, you did good. You entered because of FOMO, not because of analysis. You entered 3 times because of FOMO, not because of analysis. And when you were right, you didn't know what to do with it. You were reacting to it. Only preparation you did was this part. Everything else was luck. This is the only thing you worked for. That yes, it should go back up. Does that make sense? So as traders, your only job is this portion to this portion, is to master this, When you get that good deal, take the money off of it. And then you judge yourself. Okay, I did 2 trades, I did 5 trades, I did 10 trades, whatever that number may be. How did I do? How did I do? Total. Then you'll start realizing, okay, I'm doing well, I'm net positive, but my goodness, look at my commissions I'm paying to my broker. Now you're thinking like a trader. Your post-analysis is telling you you did well actually, but because you did so many trades, it's costing you money. You're learning something different. No one trained you for that, but you learned it automatically, right? It's not in any course. You just learned that. That's how you go pro. That's how you learn. Make sense? All right, we talked about a lot of stuff here. I want to check one thing with you guys here. How many of you guys here are actually mastering price action students? How many of you guys here are actually students of Urban Forex? Let me just put up a poll. Just want to see. Okay, give me a second. Once we get 70% people voted, I'll show it to you guys. Right now, we got 60% voting. 61% have voted. 60, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, almost 69, 70. Okay, here we go. So 81% of you guys in this room of 660 plus people here are actually students of the Mastering Price section at Urban Forex, and 19% of you guys are not. So those of you guys who are not, we're trying something new with Urban Forex where you can try our material for free. You can try our material for free. There's a free trial that we have. And if you want to pick up that free trial where if you like the way I teach, if you understand it, it makes sense to you, then the whole notion is, well, how do we begin the journey? Where do I go from here? What shall I do? Okay, so if you want to start the journey with us, the first journey is 8 weeks long. I walk you through week after week on what to do. And along with that, you get daily examples, you get 24-hour support, by all the teams that you saw on here. So they're going to be assisting you as well. Along with that, you also get a private webinar with me where we come into a webinar like this and we talk nitty gritty, more private, more closed doors, and just us discussing techniques. So there's a private webinar just for students as well. So if you guys want to get the free trial, it is available at www.urbanforex.com/free trial. Okay, so that's www.urbanforex.com/free trial. Let me just type it in for you. Okay, there you go. Free trial. Okay, Armo, I think, there you go. Sorry about that. Armo got that link up there. Okay, so you'll be able to try it because as traders, we personally believe in risk management. And I want to give you that risk management by saying, let me take the risk and saying it's risk-free. Not only do you have a free trial, but even when you join the program, it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So it's technically risk-free to you for you to be like, all right, want to see if I want to go down this journey and do I have what it takes to do this? Okay. And you don't want to put up money for that to try and to understand if this is for you or not. Right. So, well, that's a free trial available for you guys. So I hope you guys learned a lot from this webinar. How many of you guys would say, you've enjoyed this webinar? Did you have a good time in this webinar? Did you pick up something? This is something that we do here at Urban Forex is if you're going to spend time to come to my webinars, I don't want to disrespect your time. I want to make sure you learn something before you go. Any webinar and every webinar. Okay, so would you guys say going forward, everything we talked about earlier, you guys will work on that? You guys promised me that the early part of the webinar where we talked about the psychology. That's the first step. We got to get that out of the way. For those of you guys who have been in the industry a little bit longer, more than 3 months, get that out of the way. Get that psychological pressure out of the way. And then we take it further and further into, all right, well, how do you do it? What techniques can you do? How should you focus on the techniques so you can learn and make it a shortcut and learn faster and learn faster? So your journey is shortened. It doesn't have to be super, super long of trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, So once again, really appreciate you guys coming into here. As always, thank you again for being here. It's always been a pleasure. Until next time, guys, cheers. Bye for now.